You have all of these infiltrators who have decided to rebel within our country. And then you also have the Al-Qaeda leader, one of them, who just went out and called on more protests. You see, I'm not going to play it because it's in a language that we can't understand. But he's literally calling upon every Muslim in the United States, more protests, and calls for the assassination of Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk. So that's how that's going. And, oh, by the way, there are a bunch of them here who have been let in the last 4 years under the disastrous open borders policies of Joe Biden. So just wait, because it will happen. So we've got that going on while we've got the people claiming, no, this is actually Mexico. So we're just going to like set up shop in LA and burn it down because we enjoy living in shitholes, I guess. And then you also have Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna talking about these riots being backed by a billionaire Chinaman, Neville Singham. And, of course, there's ties to the CCP there. I want to play Anna Paulina Luna on some of that. Watch.
Just found a really great deep dive here from the Data Republican on X. So who is behind all these crazy riots in LA and that will be across the nation? Just like remember in the Summer of Love with BLM, remember who's organizing all that stuff. With this specifically is being funded by an individual by the name of Neville Singham, who actually made his money by pushing communist Chinese propaganda, became a billionaire doing it. He's now funding, and the guy behind all of these protests was also behind and tied to the protests at Columbia University, pushing all of that BS, if you don't remember. And then also, too, if you actually look at the social organization that's putting out these flyers, it's the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which is, and I kid you not, the actual Communist Party. So they're using Hispanics, they're using illegal immigrants, they're trying to hype people up thinking that they care, but they don't care. They would stop illegal immigration. Obama deported people. Why all of a sudden now?
So they are not only helping fund what's happening in LA and California. There was also another Chinese scientist arrested while arriving in the United States at the Detroit airport, and they're accusing him of smuggling more biological material directly tied to the University of Michigan once again. By the way, it said it in the court filing, it said it related to certain worms and requires a government permit. So that's a little alarming. So my point is, remember when all three of us have said many times the ramifications of this policy will be felt for decades to come. Yeah. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, we've said, the three of us have said over and over again that this is going to happen. There are foreign entities coming into the country that want to kill us. This isn't a joke. I've said this 1,000 times and people keep saying, oh, you're fear-mongering. I'm like, look, just because we're not at war with them doesn't mean that they're not at war with us. They never sleep. It doesn't stop. I don't understand why we haven't banned everybody coming from China. Mm-hmm. The first time it happened, they should have gone, boom, It's over. These are, when it comes to China, they're not doing this as individuals. It's not like Al-Qaeda. They could come from anywhere, right? You don't know where they're coming from because that's an ideology, right? This is state-sponsored terrorism. This is what it is. They're literally committing acts of war against the United States. China, ban them, stop them from coming in. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And again, we've said on here, it's Marxist, and everyone's going, you don't know what Marxism is. This is what it is.
I mean, the Party of Socialism and Liberation, like as she was just saying, like these are the communist guys. They're self-professed too, so there should be no argument.
The one thing about this whole immigration thing that I think a lot of people lose sight of when discussing this is how you notice the different type of terminology, how definitely over the last 10 years, how it began to change, right? Like you used to not be able to call people colored. That was racist. And POC, for some reason, became the adopted term, though that's literally the same thing when you break it down.
Colored person, person of color.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, one is racist, Eric, clearly, and the other one isn't racist.
Same thing. It's the same thing. But what they were attempting to do, and they did it rather successfully, is that they wanted to try to basically weaponize a big block of people and basically for the causes and agendas of the social justice left. That's all that was, because when you think about it, all the people that are lumped in with POCs are varying demographics, varying cultures. We are not the same, right? We're not the same. Even black people among other black people from the South ain't the same as black people from up north. It's not the same, but they lump everybody together purposefully in order to weaponize it, again, all in the name of the social justice left. So it is, you brought up Marxism, but that's where all of this stuff stems from. And if there's one block of people that I do believe should be deported and physically removed, in the words of Hans Hermann Hoppe, it's communists. It's socialists. These guys are the scum of the earth. They are responsible for virtually all the democide that has happened in this in the world. And the fact that they have been so very successful to the point to where they can openly advocate for this stuff, and all is good. Right? And we're not talking about just having a general opinion. When you are advocating socialism, you are advocating for acts of aggression upon peaceful people. Your ideology not only sucks, it is objectively violent, and it needs to be absolutely rid of, right? But because they have been so successful, you're seeing all of these different agendas. You brought up Al-Qaeda. Everybody's looking at what's happening right now, and they're just using it because it's advantageous to them right now, right?
It's
because right, they're being very opportunistic. They see what's going on. They see this as an opportunity to really disrupt, sort of dismantle, especially demoralize the people, because people are looking at this and they're tired of it. That's the whole ultimate agenda. So don't be surprised at all as you see more of these various groups. I think it all stems from general socialism, right? But they're all these different wings of socialism, wanting different things and having their own agendas, and they are willing to unfortunately collapse this entire country, all in the name of, again, social justice leftism, or more accurately, authoritarian leftism.
But I think, can I just say, I think what they're doing as well, though, is they're solidifying the right. Because there's a lot of people out there now that are going, you know what, I was kind of on the fence before about this, but no. Yep. Oh, this is what you do. It's like light, right? Light is there. It's shone a light and everything. All the cockroaches are right there for us to see. Yeah. And I want to make this point as well, Eric, because you made a great point about Marxism. Do you remember when Black Lives Matter came out, and on their website, it was literally like the woman had been to, she was an avowed Marxist who started that movement. And then they said, we want to basically take apart the family unit.
The nuclear family.
And people like me and you as well, we came out and we were like, no, we're not down with Black Lives Matter. What did we get?
You're racist.
You're a racist, right? So this is what they do. This is their playbook. They hide. They're shadowy. They hide behind these things. But again, what they've done is people just don't care anymore. I'm like, call me racist. I don't care. Right. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Sadly, it doesn't mean anything, because I remember, I'm old enough to remember, if you were called racist, it was the worst thing you could ever be called, right? So they call you racist, they call you Nazi, nobody cares. So it's a very, very interesting time to be alive, because you're seeing all these shifts. You're seeing the shifts in language as well. Like language is changing. Yeah. The way that people are reacting and responding is changing to all these different things. I never thought that I would be alive to see communism in America. And that's what it is. That's what we see.
Well, this is what historically socialism, more accurately, I won't say more accurately, it's all state socialism. It's all Marxism, essentially is. They were used as interchangeable terms. History lesson, everybody, long ago, right? Socialism, communism, they from Ferdinand Lassalle on up, it was essentially the same thing. It meant the same different concept. Now they like to pretend like, well, one is with state, one is without it. No, it's all, even under general Marxism. What the hell do you think the dictatorship of the proletariat actually is? But what we're seeing, I think, now, and why I think a lot of people, even the guys that are more liberty-minded, have come around to really addressing this issue and not looking at it like as this just as simple as black and white, is because they see the cultural conflict there, right? And that's something that can't be denied and something that cannot be ignored. It does not matter what your ideal setup is. When you have a culture that is incompatible with the others and you're trying to basically force them together, this is what you get. You get a blow up, you get conflict, you get violence, you get all of these different things. things, and it's not good for anybody, especially if you want peace. This is why I make the argument that the guys that are more of those like forced integrationist types, they're more advocating violence than the people that want to be left alone, because you're ensuring conflict. When you have cultures that are incompatible, they're antithetical to one another, and you're trying to force them together, that's exactly what you're going to get. So I do believe that a lot of liberty-minded people who were a little more lax on the subject of immigration started to finally come around. Again, Hans Hermann Hoppe was talking about this years ago. He's an anarcho-capitalist like me. This is what he was literally talking about when he said, like, he put it in the scope of like a libertarian society. What he was saying is that basically you cannot have someone that's in that advocates against that. They have to be physically removed. Now, I remember these so-called left libertarians, which aren't libertarians at all, got mad at him for bringing up that. But you can put that at even the micro level. If you bring someone into a culture that is going to blow it up, you're going to get conflict. And that libertarian establishment that you had, it will be no longer, right? So I think a lot of people came around for that reason.
Yeah. I don't know why that just made me think of this, and we don't have it like planned for the show, but did you guys see that Josh Hawley is now calling for
what is that?
minimum wage of $15?
Man.
I'm like,
who needs enemies?
with friends like these, I know. That's why I'm just like, why do you guys do this? Why? This is why we can't have nice
Out of nowhere.
things.
Out of
Yes,
nowhere.
out of nowhere.
Because they just throw that grenade in there.
It's so weird.
I can't remember who covered, and I was like, there's no way they're full of stuff. And then he posted about it soon after, like, yeah, this is what I'm advocating. I'm like, is this where we're at? When our good friend Malice says that this is basically progressivism going the speed limit, is that exactly what it is? Because 10 years ago, conservatives had enough, well, at least the Republicans had enough sense to understand how disastrous any minimum wage, forget 15, forget 8, 25, any minimum wage is, and how it has been historically, this whatever bullcrap floor that they're trying to implement. And now we have, and admit it, yeah, Josh Hawley, I know people have said good things about this man on this show, but you should have lost Austin Peterson.
Yeah, well,
maybe he'll come back and primary you.
yeah, he should now.
Yeah.
He should. That's going to come back to haunt him.
Yeah.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.